Welcome to Xeva's fourth Supplier Showcase. My name is Quinn Phelps. I'm the manager of Xeeva Supplier Marketplace, meaning I am tasked with finding new preferred suppliers to join Xeeva Supplier Marketplace, and also once they're a member of the marketplace, connecting them with customers so they can start building up long-term relationships. You can connect with our preferred suppliers through sourcing events, buying off their catalogs, buying off Punch-Out, reaching out to our preferred suppliers directly. Today, we're going to be learning more about Pride Veteran Staffing. Pride Veteran Staffing is a woman-owned, veteran-owned staffing company that matches talent to a variety of jobs in multiple different industries. They use an individualized approach and AI to be able to match top talent to their customers for the long term. Today, we'll be joined by CEO and founder Beth Firgau. She brings over 15 plus years of industry experience, and along with her team, has proven to their customers they can provide a high quality of service on a consistent basis. So very excited to learn more about Pride Veteran Staffing, and we really thank Beth for joining us today. Beth, we'll kick it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Quinn. It's a pleasure. I'm always happy to meet people on this basis. And, referrals are really how we work these days, right? So I founded Pride Veteran Staffing in 2019. It wasn't perfect timing, story of my life. Let's do it the hard way. Anyway. It's still good though. Last year was particularly good, so I can't complain too much. But anyway, being an Army veteran myself, I found that I understood the technology and especially security certified candidates. And I had already been in the staffing industry for many years, representing diverse businesses. So I'm very good at corporate relationship development and also maintaining successfully corporate clients, which, as you know, they tend to be rather demanding. So I ended up establishing the business, and we've been doing fabulous. And actually, I'm just looking for new ways that we can develop our clientele. Even though I know a few thousand people, do I know them well? Not necessarily. I like to have one-to-one relationships and then have my recruiting team also develop business.
Awesome. Well, really excited to have you here, Beth. And I'm going to share my screen a little bit so our companies can learn more about Pride Veteran Staffing, the capabilities you guys have, and the value you can provide to our customers as well. So let me share my screen.
Okay. So as I was saying, we were established in 2019. I'm headquartered in New Jersey, outside of Manhattan, but I do have an office in the city, also an office in Rutherford, New Jersey, and in India, offshore. And recently I do have a satellite office in Michigan. So I kind of hit one of those goals. I find that there's a lot of people looking for good staffing out in Michigan and, patriotic. I'm not saying the rest of the country isn't, but the company that certified me is nonprofit, and it's the NVBDC, the National Veteran Business Development Council. Some people are aware of them. It's kind of the gold standard with the huge corporations. The $1 Billion Roundtable recognizes that certification for veteran-owned. And so, I do have a partner, that's Ajit Singh, and also he's a fabulous both recruiter and operations guy, and Ricky Pandey as well has helped with carving out the recruiting teams. Naturally, 15 employees is pretty good, not too bad for a business going on 3 years old. And as I mentioned, NVBDC has certified us. Also, the Veteran Administration, there's a certification called VetBiz CVE. We have that. That was kind of like an audit, just like NVBDC. And then naturally, WeBank, the Women Business Enterprise National Council, and I'm also active with their Metro office as well as the NVBDC with their scholarship program. I wanted to mention that.
Great.
And so what our focus is, everyone, is we're working on the IT component. Okay, so what we're doing is we have a partner that is Appetin Consulting, and so they actually have the history of providing services to clients, and also an MSP, and also network system admin, all of the job titles that you can imagine, including solutions. I'm providing with Appetin for our end clients and also for our partners. We have over 80 recruiters with our partner Appetin. That would be 15 plus, scalable to 80 for everyone. And so, yeah, we have subject matter experts. We have excellent interviewing. So that's a little more about the company and what makes us outstanding. As I mentioned about the diversity status, what happened was recently, about 3 years ago, supplier diversity groups have determined that they didn't really have an organization that they trusted for certifying. Reason was there was a lot of fraud, unfortunately, in the VA administration certifications. Because a lot of it was like on the honor system. But so NBBDC was, they tailored their certification process like WeBank. And then they were accepted. And then supplier diversity groups all over the country realized that there were not enough veteran-owned businesses in the supplier diversity programs. Now, I do respect and partner with, all the other minority enterprises. That would include, the minority, as in, socioeconomic HUD, and also the LGBTQ and the handicapped, because this is what's successful in the supplier diversity programs, and this is what's recognized as needed. As I talk to customers and corporations, what they tell me is because the clients of the services are diverse and the employees of those companies are diverse, they want their vendors to be. And so with us, you would be satisfying the goal of recognizing that you're giving a small business like myself, a veteran-owned business, I served in the Army, an opportunity to develop her clients and also place candidates that are also diverse in the marketplace. And that's been working for other businesses. I was very successful working for approximately 10 other companies prior to owning and starting my own business. So I placed hundreds of people basically within corporations myself as a recruiter. The information that is on the PowerPoint is very thorough. So our capabilities, as everyone really knows, when you think about staffing, there's contract to hire, direct hire, contingent labor as an MSP programs, and then where we're located is in the areas that I mentioned on the East Coast, and then with an office, and recruiters are divided up nationwide. So we work with mainly IT, but also healthcare domain is a growing segment. And we're realizing that that's going to continue because it has to do with COVID. Number one, COVID's not going away. The needs for nurses, need to staff up hospitals, and pharmaceutical companies, life science companies. Those positions are in high demand. So we're also working on those as well. And professionals in general, and that would be in production plants. Also, you have factory environments, but we're placing the IT professionals or the technicians in those jobs and the white collar professionals. So when you think about what IT jobs that are trending, everyone knows these days it's digital design, okay? So that is requiring a lot of consultants and temp labor. We will place all of the positions for perm if the client wants them that way, okay? So there, we have no issue on that. We will work with you that way. But when you, the digital market these days, it's very graphic. And so the design, the content, and the implementation after the quality assurance and the programming course, it's all team related. Okay, so the workflow process, it's all throughout the system development life cycle with our clients. There are gaps, and we look to fill those gaps with the design, the engineering, and the data analytics. Those are the areas where there are ongoing high demand skills for our clients. And that's what we continue to have a large database and relationship with consultants that we want to place again and again. So when you also look at successful companies, and we want to grow naturally, that's our goal. We look at the vetting process, and we're always trying to work on that to make it a little better, a little bit sharper. Oftentimes it boils down to speed to market and also quality of the candidates. And the way that we get to those candidates quick is that we have a database, okay? We have vetted candidates already, and then we also have recruiting teams. So we're using, what's big for us now is Siebel. That's our proprietary system. We can modify that and do reports as needed for our clients and our team, and also JobDiva. And one thing that's important is not just the technical skills, but that the person is a good communicator. So as part of the screening and also interview prep, we do want to talk to people about the job that they did. And this helps us understand that the consultant is really who they say they are. Unfortunately, we have to screen for that in their ID, but that they can communicate and get along with the team, because IT has a lot of meetings. So it's not just the documentation, it's not just the coding and the programming, but again, you know, people have to be able to get along. That's important.
Thank you so much, Beth. I really appreciate you taking the time to share that with us today. I kind of want to go into some frequently asked questions that I know our customers are going to be having about your organization and the value that you'll be able to provide. So kind of kicking us off right off the bat with one of our questions. So you mentioned a lot about your diversity, being a woman-owned and veteran-owned business. Can you please how has that been able to allow you to better understand your customers' needs and then provide value to them?
Okay, well, the first thing I want to mention is I didn't choose to be born a woman, but so be it. I am a woman. So that's is naturally, I'm visibly a woman, and I bring that to the workplace, right? I grew up in a family of 5 very competitive people. I was a middle child. So I have to give credit to my family that I was able to get along, and I still get along with my 2 brothers and my 2 sisters. And I recently went to a wedding and everybody had a good time, and there was actually no arguing. So that was also good. The other point I want to mention, though, is about the military, which again, that was a choice. The fact that I was a woman, I am a woman. I wanted to travel, and I wanted to get training, and I wanted to be educated, but I didn't want to start college immediately. So I joined the military, and I did get fantastic training. I did get to travel, and I was able to use the GI Bill, but my work history was telecommunications specialist, which is, that would be cyber today, but it was a few years ago, okay? But what I can do is, as a woman, I can understand and empathize with people. Sometimes, you know, women are known to multitask better. So I don't want to say that to take away from men, but if that's a skill that we do better, I would say I'm very good at that. So the other thing is, since I've worked in a unit in the Army and I had to move around and I had very little say about what I could do with my life, I was always at the mercy of someone else. So I had to be disciplined. I had to, again, learn to take orders and get the job done and without excuses. Okay. So as an owner, that's what I bring to the table is somebody that, first of all, I can be a leader. I can tell people, my personal experiences. I can relate to a lot of different people in different walks of life. I've also lived and worked in another country. I was in Japan, for example. I lived in the South. I was born in the North. And also I've placed people with different backgrounds and ancestries, and I always make friends with them. So I'm very outgoing. So I think that any of my clients, they can talk to me about any subject and I won't run from it.
That's great. Yeah, I can also say from experience, all the women in my life are better multitaskers than me. So I can definitely say that for sure. But yeah, I think another big thing that's changed a lot of industries, but specifically the staffing industry has been COVID. And we're kind of seeing for the first time, a lot of people are coming back to work since COVID, coming back in person into the office. How has your organization adjusted to this change in the staffing landscape to continue to find high quality employees for your customers?
Well, I have to tell you that I wish I could say we were immune to the issues around COVID, but they affect us as well. Uh, First of all, people did have to come back to the office. There were people that were reluctant to do that. Later, we found out they weren't working that hard or they even had another job. So that was a test. Did they come back and were they working hard? And then the other thing is we realized to make employees happy, we would have to, include a lot of perks in the job. That means have like food deliveries, take them on a team building trip, which we did. But getting back to our clients and understanding COVID and the back to work, we have experienced the great resignation like nobody else in staffing. We've had to replace jobs that we just filled or people didn't show up. So we're very encouraged by companies that are striving to make their employees happy as well as their clients happy. But I wanted to mention that right now, it's become kind of like the consultants are still calling the shots as far as their pay rates and their choice of jobs and what they're willing to do. But we do have to be very persuasive, Quinn. So I just wanted to say that, again, we're not immune to the world at large. We're just trying to coexist and be successful for our clients.
Absolutely. That's something that I think everyone's adjusting to right now. And I think Pride Veteran Staffing is helping lead the charge to continue to find those great employees for the long term for customers. And I think you talked about having customers nationwide in multiple countries as well. And I want to know, what have they said about you, about what you can provide that has been most helpful to them and has provided the most value?
The clients that I know and continue to know, they're actually some of the most demanding clients. Okay. So what they want is they want speed, they want quality, and they do want someone that is looking long-term on the project. Okay. That is willing to go perm if that opportunity comes up. And we do have to follow the requirements, get detailed requirements, which we do, and then match the right person to the job. So the best feedback I get is, wow, you really knew what we wanted and you did it, so that it was painless, right? We really like working with you. Those are the compliments, and that's what I want to continue to get.
That's awesome. I think it's something our customers are really going to be looking forward to from working with you and getting to see the value you can provide. And that goes into my
Exactly.
final question. Xeva's top industries are automotive, manufacturing, consumer packaging goods, and oil and gas. We're emerging in the healthcare and aerospace and defense industries as well. But in terms of our main industries where most of our customer base is, do you have experience staffing in these industries? And how are you able to provide value to these customers in these specific industries?
Yes, I wish I could say I've staffed every single industry under the sun. I can't really say that, but one thing about staffing, and again, these are partners that you know, and um, software companies realize this as well, is that the business is rather layered. So, we have worked with all those industries um, and many of the companies within those industries as a second tier or a third tier. That doesn't mean that we haven't staffed for these industries. It just means that because we're small, we're growing, um, we haven't been automatically added to the big companies' vendor lists, but we are in the process and we're making good progress. So I want you to know that we will recruit the industry talent that's needed, the years work experience, the education, and their availability and all the fit requirements. We will get those people for you, but I'm not going to boast and tell you that I've worked with every single client under the sun. I'm happy to do that on a case by case, give references, as needed. But right now, you could say I'm a team player, and I'm just looking for that one small opportunity. Could be a big opportunity, but I'm open to whatever comes up.
Open for small and big opportunities. That's great.
Everything in between.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's awesome. I think the final question I have, and you talked a little bit about it in your PowerPoint presentation, but what certifications does your company possess?
Okay. So for the people that, hear about our certifications, but they don't really know what they are, I'll just expand a little bit. So there's this organization called the National Business Development Council, NBBDC, out of Michigan. And that's a not-for-profit. And that's for training and certification of veteran-owned businesses. That's one of the certifications. That's an annual certification. And then I do have the women-owned small business, which was granted to me also. That allows me to work with state government and also the public sector. And that certification I received from Women Business Enterprise National Council, which the RPO that I'm affiliated with is the Metro New York City that covers North Jersey, Connecticut, and all of New York State. So that certificate is accepted, nationwide, but they have a lot of trade fairs and events, and you'll see that I'm very active and I go to as many as possible. And then other certification I wanted to get, just because I am a veteran and I see the value, I actually even get veterans healthcare, believe it or not, is the Vet Biz CVE. And that is, again, the Veteran Administration gives a certificate, and it's a very thorough process, which I wanted to make sure that I was in that database as well.
That's awesome. So the final question is there anything else that you want to talk about that you want our customers to know about you and Pride Veteran Staffing?
Yeah, I do want to mention that as I continue to build a foundation for the company, I want to join industry associations. One that I found was good, and Chester from your company, Quinn, he and I met at ISM. Okay, that's Institute for Supplier Management in North Jersey. I think it's a very, inclusive procurement organization. I love that. And then another couple that I've joined is industry analysts, software industry analysts, SIA. and I'm listed on their diverse corporations national list, okay, recently. But we did join that last year, and I think that's really good because it's a very professional organization that many of the contingent labor corporations and clients also participate in for learning and development. And then the other organization is Diversity Alliance for Science, which some people are familiar with it. It's a very niche life science and pharmaceutical corporation industry association, which the buyers of technology participate in, and then I can have meetings and get into in-depth conversations about projects. So I wanted to tell the group that I'm open to having meetings, anything that's out there in the world that is beneficial to Pride veteran staffing. Oh, and the other thing is obviously I'm helping a lot of veterans too. And you can imagine I joined the New Jersey Veteran Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also helping the NVBDC Junior ROTC 50 State Scholarship Fund. That was a mouthful. And I'm responsible for Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. I picked out a young cadet for that submitted an essay, What Veterans Mean to America, and they're receiving a $10,000 scholarship when they sign up for class in the fall, and that's $2,500 a year, and they're also getting a laptop. And I did go to their graduations and awarded these scholarships. So I'm actually doing quite a bit. And then I'm doing some work with WeBank as well for people to know about the certifications, doing some social media. So I try to help everybody. And if there's some cause that I didn't mention, I'm open to it, even allying, and I say even, but it shouldn't be an even, but working with other diverse categories such as LGBTQ. I'm very sympathetic, needless to say. Sometimes I am friends with people that fall into that category, and I want them to have equal rights. That's my personal opinion, and that's a legal requirement. People should have equal rights. Well, that's a little bit about Beth and Pride Veteran Staffing. We have a website, www.prideveteran.com. You can always email Beth at Pride Veteran for more information. And any other questions for me? I'm open.
Yeah, that's all I have personally. Thank you so much for your time today, Beth, with your thoroughness and transparency with your answers. Thank you for everyone for watching this as well. If you wanted to learn more about Pride Veteran Staffing, contact Beth directly. We'll have her number and email in the body and in the messages of this sheet, so you'll be able to see and reach out to her directly. You can also reach out to me at 301-310-3149, or you can always email me at Quinn, Quinn, Phelps, PHELPS at Xeeva.com, and I'll make sure you're connected directly with Beth and other members of her team so you can learn more about Pride Veteran Staffing and work with them directly. So thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much, Beth. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Thanks for the opportunity, Quinn.